Welcome back to the Asia Explore podcast. I'm Kayla. When you travel to Korea, there are three shopping meccas you simply can't miss: Olive Young, Musinsa, and Daiso. Olive Young is the ultimate beauty and skincare paradise, where you'll find the latest K-beauty must-haves at unbeatable prices. Musinsa is Korea's fashion hub, bringing you stylish, high-quality brands that rival global labels. And Daiso? It's every traveler's dream for daily essentials, trustworthy, affordable, and packed with clever finds. Forget cheap, low-quality products. Here you'll get the best of Korea: beauty, fashion, and lifestyle all in one unforgettable shopping experience.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack some of the most fascinating shifts happening around the globe. Right now, just picture yourself strolling through Myeongdong in Seoul. The vibrant, neon-lit streets, it's buzzing, really buzzing.
Yeah.
Just a few years back during the pandemic, these same streets were, well, almost eerily quiet. But today, they're absolutely packed with foreign visitors. There's this renewed energy, you can almost feel it.
Yeah, and while, that incredible return of tourism is definitely fantastic news, there's actually a really surprising story unfolding just beneath the surface. It's not just about the sheer number of visitors coming back. It's more about a fundamental shift in how they're traveling and, maybe more importantly, where they're choosing to spend their money in Korea. So this deep dive, we're going to unpack these evolving patterns, these travel and consumption habits. We're looking at what we're calling the new shopping sanctuaries that are really capturing the hearts and, frankly, the wallets of international tourists.
Okay, and we should mention, a lot of these insights came from a pretty thorough YouTube deep dive on this exact topic. And the numbers, well, they really speak for themselves, don't they? From January to May 2024, Korea saw, get this, 6.28 million cumulative visitors. That's a huge jump, 81.1% up compared to the same time in 2023.
It's staggering.
Yeah, and if you look back at 2023, the top countries visiting tell the story too. Japan led the pack with 2.32 million. Then China, very close behind at 2.02 million. Then the USA with 1.09 million, Taiwan at 960,000, and Vietnam with 420,000.
Quite a mix.
Right. And the reasons they came. Food tourism was number one, actually, at 63%. But shopping was right there, a very close second at 57.8%.
And that's where it gets really interesting, the shopping part, because the core change we're seeing is where that spending is happening. Before COVID, the focus for many international visitors, particularly from China, was heavily skewed towards high-end luxury goods, premium cosmetics, too, usually bought in duty-free shops. Now, there's this really distinct shift, almost a seismic one, towards what people call road shops.
Road shops. You mean like the street-level stores you see everywhere in places like Myeongdong?
Exactly. Those accessible, everyday stores. It's a big pivot.
Okay, so if we're seeing this pivot from luxury to value, and like you said, a move away from big group tours towards more individual travel, how is this actually playing out on the ground? Are there specific places becoming the new hotspots for this kind of shopping? And maybe more importantly for our listeners, what does this all mean for your understanding of global consumer trends?
Well, it points to a few interconnected shifts, I think, maybe even permanent ones. First off, that change in travel patterns you mentioned, that's critical. We've seen a really dramatic move away from those large, often pre-packaged group tours. Now it's much more about individual travel or maybe small groups, especially noticeable among Chinese tourists. And this independent style, it naturally leads to more, spontaneous, exploration-driven shopping.
Right, less structured itineraries.
Exactly. And second, you just can't ignore the global economic backdrop. There's a very clear push towards value for money products instead of splashing out on high-priced luxury items. This doesn't feel like just a temporary dip, It suggests maybe a deeper shift in how people think about spending when they travel. Are we maybe seeing a move away from just overt luxury as the main status symbol?
Towards something else, like being a savvy traveler.
Perhaps. We're finding value, authenticity, that local experience. Maybe that signals a different kind of sophistication now. And then finally, there's the currency factor, the strong U.S. dollar lately. It's kind of minimized the price difference people used to see between duty-free and regular stores. So those road shops, with their clear, reasonable prices and, honestly, huge variety, they suddenly look incredibly appealing.
That makes sense. It sounds like this whole shift from, let's say, high-end to high value has even created a new nickname for these go-to spots, something catchy that sums up these new shopping sanctuaries.
It absolutely has. There's a new term popping up, Olmuda. That's O-L-M-U-D-A, Yudo in Korean. It's actually a pretty clever portmanteau combining the names of the three big players here, Olive Young, Musinsa, and Daiso. These three are really becoming the powerhouses for these value-conscious foreign visitors.
Olmuda. Okay, I like it. Let's kick off our first deep dive then with Olive Young. It really seems to have cemented its place as the beauty sanctuary for foreign tourists, hasn't it? I mean, its presence on TikTok, Instagram, it's huge. You see hauls all the time. And places like the Myeongdong Town Store, the one in Hongdae, are apparently absolute must-visits.
Oh, absolutely. And the data, it completely backs that up. Get this. In the first half of 2023, something like 7 out of 10 foreign visitors to Korea went into an Olive Young.
7 out of 10, wow.
Yeah. And if you look at their foreign sales figures for the first quarter of 2023, they shot up by 263% compared to the previous year.
263%. That's incredible growth.
Yeah.
So beyond just being affordable, what do you think is Olive Young's, like, secret sauce? What pulls in such a massive international crowd, maybe even more than other K-beauty shops?
I think it hits that perfect sweet spot. Genuinely high-quality Korean beauty products, but at prices that feel really reasonable, really accessible. And this ties directly into the massive global boom of K-beauty itself. You know, you see famous TikTokers posting their empties videos, showing off the Korean products they've completely used up. And K-beauty brands are hitting #1 on Amazon bestseller lists in different categories. It's not niche anymore, it's mainstream.
Right. And initially, I remember hearing it was mostly about basic skincare, like lotions and serums, and especially mask packs. That fits with the whole K-beauty trend for smooth, hydrated skin.
Exactly. That was the initial wave. But here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit surprising. Recently, sunscreen has actually overtaken mask packs. It's become the undisputed #1 K-beauty item people are buying.
Sun cream. Really? That is surprising. So with sunscreen taking the top spot, are there differences in what people from different regions are looking for, different preferences?
Oh, absolutely. The preferences are quite diverse, and they tell you a lot about climate and local beauty standards. For instance, visitors from North America, they often deal with high UV exposure, so they want sunscreens that are really moisturizing. And crucially, no white cast. That's a big thing. Japanese visitors, on the other hand, often prefer fair skin. So they look for strong UV protection, yes, but also added benefits like whitening or skin toning effects and maybe oil control. And then you have visitors from somewhere like Vietnam where it's hot and humid. For them, the key is finding formulas that aren't sticky, that feel comfortable on the skin all day. It really shows how nuanced beauty demands are globally.
Fascinating. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk K-fashion. Its global popularity has just exploded, hasn't it? And a lot of that seems tied to K-content. I mean, you think about Jennie from Blackpink wearing a certain skirt, or Han So-hee's cardigan in a drama.
Or even just seeing what brands BTS members wear.
Exactly. All that stuff fuels massive interest. Plus, you just see so much content online, right? TikToks, Reels, showing off how well-dressed Korean Gen Z are. It makes people want to experience that style themselves.
For sure. And Musinsa, which actually started as this dominant online fashion platform in Korea, they've been really strategic about expanding their offline physical store presence. They basically saw where this global K-fashion interest was heading and positioned themselves to capture it, making themselves a real destination.
Smart move.
Right.
And it seems like it's working. That Musinsa standard store in Myeongdong, it only opened in March 2024, right? And apparently in just 2 months, its foreign sales jumped by 10%. I heard it's even known now for having more foreign shoppers than local Koreans sometimes.
Yeah, it's become a real hotspot. And looking at who's visiting Musinsa Standard most, it's a pretty diverse crowd. China, Taiwan, the USA, Singapore, and Japan are the top countries.
Okay, but here's a question. Why Musinsa specifically? I mean, compared to Olive Young or Daiso, they have way fewer physical stores. They're still mostly online, aren't they? So they're maybe less physically accessible in some ways. What's their unique draw for these international visitors?
That's a great point. And I think its unique appeal hits several important notes for this new wave of traveler. First, it offers that trendy casual fashion at really reasonable prices, again, echoing that value for money trend we keep seeing. Then there's this powerful exclusivity factor.
Exclusivity, how so?
Well, their physical stores only exist in Korea. You can't just walk into a Musinsa store back home. That creates this sense of a special, only in Korea shopping find. It makes it more desirable. And of course, the stores themselves are designed to be hip. You know, they have a cool atmosphere, good for browsing and discovering things.
Right, the experience matters.
Definitely. And interestingly, what's super popular are really basic items like their slacks. People rave about them, modern design, practical, great value. Tourists apparently often buy multiple pairs of the exact same slacks.
Wow, buying multiples of the same thing, that's a serious endorsement.
It really is. It says a lot about perceived quality and value.
Okay, so we've covered K-beauty with Olive Young, K-fashion with Musinsa. That brings us to the third part of Olmuda, Daiso, which is, I think, for many people, the absolute symbol of value for money shopping, especially for tourists, famous for those ultra-low prices, right? Like 1,000 to 5,000 won for most things.
Yeah, we're talking roughly less than $1 to maybe $4 or $5 per item. It's incredibly cheap. And this highlights its key strength. It's a true one-stop shop. You can get cosmetics, some clothing items, tons of household goods, stationery, cute character stuff, souvenirs, all under one roof. And the statistics, they're just mind-blowing. Overseas credit card payments at Daiso surged by 130% year-on-year in 2023.
130%, just from foreign credit cards.
Yes. It clearly shows this massive growing interest from foreign visitors. They are flocking there.
So with that huge variety, what are tourists actually buying? Like at the big Myeongdong Daiso, what are the absolute must-have items people are grabbing?
Well, at that Myeongdong store, which gets a huge number of foreign shoppers, the top seller was actually a cosmetic item, the VT Riedel shot.
Interesting. A specific skincare product.
Yeah. And the Vaseline mask pack was apparently a close second. Beyond those, other popular value cosmetics are things like the 501 mask packs, that's like 40 cents.
Unbelievable.
Right, and 3001 lipsticks. But it's definitely not just beauty. Character-themed items are huge. Tumblers, eco bags, little dolls, stationery sets. And there was this recent viral sensation, too. The Hanyul series Mother of Pearl stickers.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw something about those. Korean alphabet sticker.
Exactly. They became this huge phenomenon. Foreigners were buying them up like crazy as unique, really affordable souvenirs or gifts.
That's fascinating. You know, it makes me think about how I shop when I travel now. It used to feel like you had to bring back one big, expensive souvenir. But now it feels more satisfying to find those smaller, unique, local gems that actually tell a story, you know? So what does Daiso's popularity tell us about souvenirs and gift-giving for this new kind of traveler?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Daiso is perfectly positioned for that. It's really celebrated now as a shopping sanctuary specifically for younger tourists, or anyone really, looking for affordable but still good quality, interesting travel souvenirs. It just perfectly nails that combination of value, usefulness, and unique Korean charm. It's the kind of place where you can genuinely grab something cool and authentic for everyone back home without, emptying your wallet.
What a fascinating deep dive this has been. We've really peeled back the layers on this pretty significant shift in how foreign tourists are spending their money in Korea. It's clearly moved, hasn't it? From that focus on traditional high-end luxury to these more value-driven, maybe more culturally embedded experiences centered around Olive Young, Musinsa, and Daiso. The whole Olmuda phenomenon, as you called it.
Exactly. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, this trend really speaks volumes about these larger global themes we're seeing everywhere. Things like the rise of more conscious consumerism, maybe, the undeniable and still growing influence of social media on where people go and what they buy, and definitely this powerful growing preference for authentic local experiences over maybe more traditional, sometimes impersonal luxury. It's almost like a redefinition of what value really means to a modern traveler.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. So thinking about this, what does it all mean for you listening right now? For someone who likes to stay informed about global trends and these kinds of cultural shifts, I think this deep dive really shows us just how dynamic economies and even whole tourism industries can be, how they have to respond to changing consumer desires, changing global forces. It's not just numbers, it's a living example of adaptation in real time.
Absolutely. And it leaves us with a really interesting thought, doesn't it? As travelers increasingly seek out these unique, value-driven, maybe more authentic experiences, how might other countries, other destinations need to adapt their own tourism strategies to cater to these evolving desires? Or maybe what other local businesses, these sort of hidden gems, might be poised to become the next global sensations, much like the Olmuda trio has in Korea. It really makes you wonder where the next shift will come from and who will be ready for it. It's about looking beyond the obvious, isn't it? To find what truly resonates with today's explorer.